own suggestion is the person needs to make sure that he knows his MIT, which is the most important task. So if you're going to work, what are your most important tasks for the day? This is far beyond, the time, resources, and the energy that I said, But it's knowing your most important tasks for the day. And when you're able to know your most important tasks, then you can now focus on that. And that's where the 80-20 rules comes in. Because life is governed by rules and laws, most importantly. When you're able to follow these systems, definitely is going to be a wonderful result.
Amazing, amazing. So let's talk about, and I like that model that you put in place. It gives a bit of clarity to it. Does it always happen like that? Because I've seen folks, I've seen folks that honestly they show up. If if efficiency and results was measured by showing up, there will be gold star, 7-star performance. But they're not, because they're encumbered by a lot of things: competence, capacity, distractions, not being focused enough, plurality of decisions, and many other factors. But there's something critical that I've noticed, and I want you to spend a bit of time talking about that. There's something about the preservation and the management of energy that determines your level of productivity. Let's talk about energy renewal and energy management. Let's talk about energy, you see.
All right. So when it comes to energy management, it's totally different from the time. Now, the time, energy. So when you look at it now, energy management is your performance. I'm going to use it as your performance. And it's very important that individuals need to know their peak performance. What is
Mm,
your peak performance? Now, there are type of people that their peak performance is in the morning hours. That's energy management. The morning hours can be your peak performance. So
yeah,
when you are able to identify your peak performance, it's actually going to reduce the stress that comes with it. It's also going to reduce, the consuming of your strength in doing one or two tasks. And also, when it comes to the energy management, it also gives you a clarity of knowing yourself more better. That is where the self evaluation comes, where you get
yeah.
to know in the morning hours, this is what I'm going to do. In the afternoon hours, this is what I'm going to do. And the evening hours, this is what I'm going to do. So the energy management is really important, but it's far beyond the time. It's far beyond you investing yourself with the time, but making sure that when you are really crystal clear of your peak performance is going to boost you to having a productive life.
So the energy in this instance, is it physical energy or mental energy?
Mental energy. So we have mental energy, we have physical energy, depending on the task. Now, if for example you for like the peak performance, I know the majority have this peak performance in the morning hours. That is the time you can be able to do most of your tasks done, especially in your morning hours. You make use of writing down your journal, reading a book. That's the energy, the performance that you are giving at that moment can actually produce a greater result.
Oh, okay. But I hear you. I hear you. Is it the same for everyone? Because yeah, I know you. I know you said something about paying attention to what works for you. But really, is it the same for? Is it like a general rule that the morning is where you get to accomplish a lot or set the tone and all of that? Is that like a general rule? Is that something that's ubiquitous and applies to everybody?
Well, I would say no, but
Mm,
I would say no to this. But the people I've seen,
mm,
they have this peak performance in the morning hours. I remember a lady I was training. She's in the UK, and she works all night. She sleeps and wake up around 11 a.m. And when she
Right.
wakes up 11 a.m., she told me that her peak performance is from 12 to 1. That's in the afternoon because she works at night. So it depends on the individual. We have people who their peak performance is in the morning hours. We have people who their peak performance is in the evening hours. We have people who their peak performance is in the afternoon hours. It's first understanding yourself. And
Mm.
when you understand yourself more better, it's going to help you to know when you can perform effectively. Now, the reason why people are not performing effectively is because they are actually looking at systems, people's systems that works for them, and they fail to discover a system that works for themselves. And
So,
that is
what you're
why,
saying is, everybody needs to find out what works for them. As in, it's
yeah,
bespoke,
yeah.
it's customized to
So
you.
you definitely, so we just like in school, back then in school, we have the night readers and we have the day readers. We have some people who really work and read well at night. We have people that
Okay,
actually work.
hold on a second, you see. Let me jump in here, right? Because I just thought of something
Okay.
as you were talking. So we're talking about, different timing working for different people. Okay, so let's take people that work in an organization. You resume at a certain hour of the day. You resume, you close at a certain hour of the day, and you're going to tell your line manager, "Oh, sorry, this is not my peak performance hour." I mean, you're expected to be working, right, from the time that you resume to the time that you close. How does that? What do you do to balance this out? Because there's got to be a way. I know it, you know it, I want everybody else to know it. Talk to me, you see.
Definitely, there's going to be a way in this aspect. If you're working in an organization, what I'm going to advise anyone working in an organization is writing down the most important tasks, because when you're working in any organization, you don't need to tell your boss that this is my peak performance. This is what I'm meant to do. This is where I feel I can actually work best. But it's all about organizing, because if you're working in any organization, you must learn how to organize. And the tasks that are the hardest tasks, the tough tasks, you stumble on those tasks first, because then your brain is renewed. You're in the office right now, so right now your brain is fresh for the day. So I would advise such person to actually stumble on the tough tasks first, not the small tasks. When you stumble on top the tasks, then you
Yeah.
apply time blocking. Now, this way time blocking comes in an organization. Time blocking is where you schedule a task to a particular time. Aside from the time management, I'm talking about the energy now, is where you now invest your energy at that particular time. So by that moment, you are already, producing results, irrespective of any organization you are. But when I was saying that everyone needs to know their peak performance, is it comes from your personal productivity. Personal productivity is where you get to know your peak performance. But if you are in the office, you need to also know your performance, and your peak performance is when you get to the office where you're energized. That's the time you know that you're ready. But remember, I said it comes from the mind. You can't go to work with a stress mindset. When you go to work with a stress mindset, you won't be able to perform. Even though you know your MIT, your
So
most important task.
that brings me to my next question. You literally just took this question out of my mouth because I was going to ask you about rest. I was saying to somebody really significant to me yesterday that I was it yesterday or the day before that I couldn't remember no, I think it was yesterday. I was actually saying, funny enough, that I couldn't remember the last time I was fully rested, like what rested 100%. Man, usually for a while I've just been carrying like backlog of rest. Yeah, I get rest. I try to rest as much as possible, but then even I know that, oh man, look, schedule time, and all that I had to do, well, guess what? Everything is a portion, right? So even rest is a portion, right? And I'm not advising
Yes.
that for anyone. I'm simply saying that's what mine has been. And so I was saying to her yesterday that Hey, you know what? I can't even remember the last time I was like 100% rested. She laughed, but for many other reasons. But here's the thing: how important is rest in this conversation of productivity? Because you said something about having a stressed mind. Now we'll come to the place of stress, yeah. But before we get to stress, let's talk about rest. Um, sleep, sleep.
Well,
How
sleep
important
is
is sleep
very
in some
important.
things?
Sleep is very important.
Mm,
Like one of the productivity tools
mm.
is sleep. If
Sleep
you
is a
cannot sleep,
productivity tool.
yes, sleep
I
is
know a lot of
one
I know
of the
I
most.
know a lot of people that know how to use that tool.
Yeah, so sleep is one of the most productivity tools. Why? Because you're resting, you're calming your brain down, everything about you is relaxed. Now, people misuse sleep. I have trained a whole lot of people and they sleep more than 12 hours because
Wait,
I
wait, I don't,
told
wait,
them
wait, hold on a second, hold on a second, hold on a second. They sleep more than 12 hours.
more than 12
Checked,
hours.
last time I checked, it's 24 hours in a day. So they sleep more than half a day.
Yes. And
Do they
they
have like a
do
trust
nothing.
fund? Do they have like a trust fund? Do they have like 14 oil wells? I don't understand. I'm trying to figure it out.
They were
Is sleep
perfect.
medication to them?
Nope. They just sleep. They just love sleeping. And they don't achieve anything for the day. So when I told them, because when I was training them, I told them that sleep is one of the most productive tools. They were happy. I said, no, but when you misuse sleep, you
Uh,
don't achieve the result. We all know that the best time to sleep is 6 to 7 hours out of 24 hours. And
mm,
that's the best time to calm yourself. Well, I do tell people that it's good to have a little nap in the afternoon or probably in the evening hours. That's also part of the things that can help you not to have a stressed mindset. And it also
mm,
energizes you because once you rest, it energizes you for the next task. But when
mm,
once you don't rest, you put your brain on the stress mode and you keep stressing yourself. The task that you would have used just 1 hour to achieve, you will end up using 3 to 4 hours. Why? Because you have not rested. I have experienced this before. There was a time I was shooting a video and I'm gonna get it today. I'm gonna get it today. And I spent close to 3.5 hours just to shoot a 1 minute video. But when I
wow.
went to rest just for 30 minutes, I came back, I was energized. I was like, wow. And it was easy
Mm.
for me. Why? Because there is power in resting. There's power in sleeping. It helps in the
You know
mental,
what you know
stress.
you know what you see. I absolutely agree with you because one of the things I said to myself, and I'm putting myself out there so I can hold myself accountable to it, is more structured rest. Because I realized that, look, first of all, there's a lot that I have to do. There's a lot of responsibilities I have, and there's a lot that's dependent on the precision of my thoughts and the accuracy of my decisions. There's a lot that's dependent on that. And I realized that many times while I used to drag myself along, but and you see, I also think the bane of what has happened to many of us is that we've learned to manage. And I say to people that management can be one of the greatest evils of this time. We've learned to manage pain. We've learned to manage certain things. We learn to manage tiredness. Our body's crying out to take a rest, but you've learned to function on fumes, if you like. And many times you get rewarded, if you like. And let's be frank, you get rewarded for functioning on fumes. People celebrate you for functioning on fumes. You are seen as a hard worker. This guy's work ethic is amazing. And to be candid, we've encouraged many people to be very unhealthy and apply habits that are tantamount to being unproductive ultimately. But I've realized, you see, over time that there's a need for me to take a few steps backwards and prioritize, with better understanding, prioritize resting. Because the more rested I am, the more I'm able to manage my energy level,
Exactly.
physical and mentally, emotionally, that allows me to be able to process information, allows me to be able to connect ideas and thoughts, allows me to be able to structurize processes, and allows me to be able to build a system around those structures.
That's right.
And if I'm able to do that most efficiently, most effectively, then I will have a productive outcome. But like you said, 3 hours to shoot a 60-second video, that is in no way an efficient by any parameter. So,
Yes.
but the more that you tried whilst you were awake, the more it was really difficult for you to get it done. You needed to take a break away, and sometimes and doesn't necessarily, correct me if I'm wrong, but rest doesn't necessarily equate to sleep. Rest
Yes.
really just
That's
putting
right.
your mind in a state of ease.
Yes.
All
Exactly.
right. Yeah, and sleep does help you do that. So it's fine. So I'm saying to you, you see, I said all of that to say this. I'm saying to you that I'm going to commit to a more structured rest pattern. I think it's very important. I think there are many people that would love to see me be around for a very long time, delivering value even at a higher level that I am. And so to myself and to them, I owe it to myself to rest in a more structured way. That sounds good, you see?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. But and again, another thing again for energy management is learn to fuel your body. Now, learn
Mm,
to fuel your body means eat balanced diet. The food you eat is very important for energy management. You don't
I
wake
like
up in
this.
the
I
morning
like
and
this session. I like this session. You're saying all the right things, you see.
yes. So you don't wake up in the morning and then you're eating a strong aku and a
What
soup in
about
the
the guys?
morning.
What about the guys that tell you they need that to run for the day? Have you
Well,
heard that before?
well, it's good for them, but at the same time, it's not healthy. It's not
ah,
healthy because
okay.
what you eat in the morning hours can
Mm,
also affect your energy management.
mm,
Can also
mm.
affect you. So, have you discovered something that in the afternoon hours when you eat heavy food, you feel sleepy and feel so tired? And if you have a whole lot of work to do, you're like, I'm tired. Why?
You
Because
feel
you're eating
drowsy.
something heavy, right?
Hmm. Yeah, drowsy. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. So you feel so tired and wow, why? Because you ate something heavy. Now, the bottom line is that the best time to eat or overeat at that moment, or you should have just eaten a little and then go back to work. So I've
Mm,
seen people working in an organization. Once it's 12 to 1, they go for their lunch, they eat heavy food, and then when they come back to work, they feel so tired. And now this is the thing. You go to work in the morning, from the 8 a.m. to 12, you're energized. From 12 to 1, after taking your lunch, eating the heavy foods, from 12 to 3 p.m., your peak performance begins to your productivity performance begins to drop. Why? Because of your body. You're fueling your body, but you're not doing it the right way. So it's best for individuals to know the type of food you eat. Even though you're eating no swallow, you must make sure that you eat a little, knowing your body system.
interesting. I mean, because I know that folks just they look at their disposable income, they eat what they can afford. A lot of people are not thinking of, okay, I'm eating, because I realize that anything that you're not doing in line with purpose becomes a problem, right?
That's
So,
right.
so folks eat because, um, how do I put this? Folks eat because they are. They are because of what they can afford. Folks eat what they
Yeah.
can afford, or they eat what's available, right? So they eat what's
Yes.
available. When they eat what's available is something heavy, and it's similarly quote unquote cost effective. Aha, they get that, they eat it, and then they go and slumber and all of that. So it's a good thing that you're drawing focus to this because many people will just think, when we talk about productivity, they're just thinking about competence, they're thinking of
Yes.
their
Exactly.
ability to be able to plan. But I mean, you need to be able to plan what you eat. Every single thing that you will do from within to without, from within your
That's
body, your mind, your thinking, your muscles, your energy, you're deploying yourself mentally, physically, right? So you have to take care of the container of the adults that you have to take care of it. I remember a story someone told once about a king that wanted to deliver a letter to another king, otherwise there will have been a calamity or a war. And so they called this guy, and this guy came. And I want you to listen very carefully to this, right? They called this guy, and this guy came, and they gave him the letter. They said, "Run to the other city across the desert. Take the king's best horse, the finest horse. Is strong and it's fast. And I want you to go across. The journey is going to be 3 days. But I want you to get there on the third day, and I want you to deliver this letter so that the king will understand that we come in peace and will not come to us with war." And so the young person that was sent understood the severity of his assignment. He understood exactly what he needed to do. And so he got on the horse and he set off. And they kept going and galloping and going at such great speed. And at some point, fairy story, horses talk. At some point, the horse says, "I'm thirsty." And the rider says to the horse, "Don't you know the level of assignment that we have? Don't you know what we have to do? Don't you understand that the nations are dependent on me delivering this letter?" And the horse said, "All right, let's go." And the horse went and they galloped into day two, and they were galloping. And the horse said, "I am thirsty." And he said, "Look, look, 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 look. Don't you understand how important this assignment is? This assignment is so important. We have to be able to deliver this letter." And after about 2 hours later, the horse says again, "I am thirsty." The guy says, This horse, I don't think you quite understand. You don't understand. You don't understand that when we deliver this letter, the photographers and the paparazzis, the Facebooks of medieval times and the X of medieval times are going to come together. They're going to take your picture. You will be on the page of every medieval newspaper, and they're going to be watching you on the medieval TV channels and all of that. This is so important. Let's continue on this journey. And then the horse begins to gallop. But after a while, the horse loses strength and it collapses and he dies.
Mm.
And the guy is like, "My goodness." And then he realizes somehow that on foot it will take him 7 days to get from where they were to where he was supposed to go to. However, if he had stopped for 10 minutes, 20 minutes for that horse to drink water, they probably would have gotten there in 2.5 days.
Mm.
That's what happens when we don't take care of our body. We talk about
Yes.
productivity. This wasn't even really where I was going to today, but we're talking about productivity. But many times we forget that you can't be productive if you can't are not taking care of you.
That's right.
and,
That's
it-
right.
and it's a challenge. The mind that you have, your head is clogged. You're not taking care of you. You have a lifestyle and a diet that isn't helping you be at your peak. I know when I'm on my A game, I strive to be
Mhm.
at my A game all the time. People around me know that I do everything to be at my A game all the time. A lot of people don't know that.
Exactly.
So when I show up strong. And people wonder why when they show up, it doesn't quite. Productivity is more than
More.
just what you can do. Productivity starts from the you that can do. And this
That's
is
right.
where people miss out on a lot of stuff. It's great that you have competencies. It's great that you have the ability to be able to plan. It's great that you have all of that. But productivity really, really starts from you even understanding every enabler of productivity. And
Everything.
the first enabler you see is you.
Mhm.
The first enabler you see is you.
And,
Okay.
and that's why you see it's been long people take fruits. If I ask, when was the last time some people ate some fruits? It's good to eat
Mm,
fruits. You know,
mm,
it's even though it's bananas, you can eat
mm,
bananas, you can take apple, watermelon. It's not all about just eating food. How about fruits? Fruits can also help.
mm.
Even in the morning hours, you can decide to take some fruit. It boosts your productivity. Why? Because it's also part of the energy management that comes with it.
Mm,
So when
mm.
you are actually taking fruit, not all about food, but you're taking fruits with it, it also balance your system for everything to run perfectly. You know,
Truly, truly, truly. Well said. Well said. Well said. And there's so much that we can talk about productivity. And guess what? We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about everything because first things first. You have to agree. We can't have it all wrapped up in one episode.
yes,
So
yes,
we need to be able to do that subsequently next Sunday and use that to wrap up the whole of September. Because we haven't yet even started talking about time management. We haven't started talking about um, 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 prioritization of scheduling. We haven't yet started talking about the ability to be able to sort. We haven't yet started talking about alignment and
mhm,
realignment. And there's a lot with productivity that we need to begin to talk about, right?
mhm.
And then, of course, we need to also talk about your productivity academy and what you're doing with it, touching people and the kind of, I don't know, maybe we could have, I don't know, maybe we could have one or two people from the academy next week who could just come in for a few minutes and just share with us, what their understanding of productivity now and how they say it,
That's
and much more than their understanding how they're deploying it.
that's right. That's right.
Because look, systems are looking for productive people. People are looking
Absolutely.
for productive systems.
Absolutely.
So this
Ab-
is truly really so important. But before we go, we have a few more minutes, and I just looked at my timepiece. We are rushing about 11 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's talk about um, when it comes to productivity, right? You see, one of the things that I find very interesting is how people struggle with task management. A lot of people, I think a lot of people need to understand what really is appraised when we talk about productivity. I have seen people argue that I've been at my desk all day now, I've been working. So they say to you, I have been working. I've been at my desk all day and I've been working. What's the outcome? What's the results? How much resources was used for the work that you did, and what was the output of the work that you did? How does it serve as an advantage to the organization, or how does it serve as a disadvantage to the organization? I want you to give your thoughts on that for about a few minutes. You see.
All right. Then, in terms of working, when people keep working and working and working, and at the end of the day, they don't achieve something worthwhile, it's because they've not understand the 2 minute rules. Now, this is where the 2 minute rules comes. The 2 minutes rules comes where even though you've been working and working and you get tired or stuck at some point, just take a pause for 2 minutes, relax, and continue again. Now, you see, we are living in a society, especially organizations, where They tell the employees you need to keep working, working, and working all over. Just keep working, even though they are not achieving something great. They keep working and working, but they fail to understand that the more you work, the more you are not really getting the meaningful results from what you are doing. So that's where the 2 minutes rule comes. The 2 minute rule comes that even though you're tired, take a little what pause for a while for just 2 minutes, then go back. Then for a while you take another 2 minutes pause and then go back. It actually boosts and help in the aspect of productivity.
Wow, 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 wow. Okay, okay. Interesting. Very, 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 very interesting. I wanted us to talk about systems management, delegation, automation. I wanted us to talk a bit about that, but I think we're going to leave that till next week. I think we're going
Okay.
to leave that till next week because I also wanted to talk about time management versus energy management. We did it. We started off. Remember, I told you that I was going to come back to it in greater detail. So
Definitely.
next week we're going to be looking at time management versus energy management, and then we're going to be looking at systems management because
Mhm.
these really, really define what enables productivity. And
That's
one
right.
of the things that I want people to be able to take away from this session or these sessions is what will unlock their productivity. All right. And, I need you better on that job. I need you delivering more. I need you 10x, 1,000x in what it is that you're doing. I need you more effective and more efficient on what you're doing. I need you identifying where the muddy waters are, what slows you down, what's heavy upon you. I need you understanding that. I need you understanding areas that you need to deprioritize. I need you understanding areas that you need to prioritize. I need you understanding, what to stop, what to start, what to do less of, and what to do more of. You understand what I'm saying? I need
Yes.
all of that. And so I'm hoping that we'll be able to achieve that next Sunday. And I mean, I'm going to be here. I know you're going to be there. And we'll be able to do justice to this subject matter. But before I let you go, it's been such a great conversation. I mean, you literally blew my mind. I mean, I am obviously going to be taking my rest and my sleep more seriously. Guilty,
Definitely.
I promise you. And obviously, I mean, I'm encouraging everybody. I am already doing that, but I encourage everybody to be a bit more strategic about their diet. Be a bit more strategic about their nutrition. It's important. You have no idea how. I mean, you are what you eat. Haven't you heard that before? You are what you eat. And a lot of the things that we consume, especially if you're in Africa, um, isn't designed to help you be very productive. That's the truth of the matter.
Right.
Isn't designed to help you be very productive, and productivity is the goal. So you have to
Definitely.
readdress certain things. You have to readdress certain things. That food is not more sacrosanct than the results that you're expected to deliver. It's not more sacrosanct than the purpose you're supposed to fulfill. Always remember that. So, you see, before you go, I'm just going to have you give us a final word for today. You're going to be back next Sunday. Uh-huh. Thank you. Final word for today with regards to what we've been talking about. You see.
All right. So before I leave, what I was going to say, in order for you to achieve and become productive, first, it first starts from the mind. That's why I keep telling people, if anyone say, how are you? First say, I'm productive, because your words are powerful. So when you say I'm productive, it energizes you, it keeps you alive.
Mm,
I'm successful. It's old fashioned to say I am fine. Yes, everyone is fine, but you can say I am productive. Now, when you say I am productive, it's still keep you in that pace that you are a productive person. And then another thing again is learning how to manage and organize your day. This is a new week we are already
mm.
in. Learn how to manage your day. So before I leave, ask yourself this question: what are the three most important things I'm going to do this week? And the three most important things is your finances, your intellectual mindset, and your spiritual life. That means Every day, learn to produce something. In order for you to be productive, produce something financially, produce something spiritually, produce something what physically. How do you produce something financially? Ask yourself, how much can I make in a day, or how much can I produce? And then what are the books can I read? What chapter of the book can I cover? And then spiritual, what chapter of the Bible can I read? This is actually very important. If you're able to know this, it can structure your day for the week. And then when it comes to the energy management, it's very important that you know this, that your nutrition is very important. What you eat is very important. What you eat is very important.
Mm.
So don't wake up in the morning and be eating apple, 5 grams of apple, and then you want to be productive. No, no,
It's not
no.
gonna work.
Yes, you can be productive, but it's going to slow you and not help you to work out perfectly and be energized.
Wow.
So this is what I'm going to share. So this
Wow.
week, make sure you know your MIT, the most important task: spiritual, physical, and what are mentally. Very, very important. And then you're going to have a productive day
Brilliant, brilliant.
and a
I
week
couldn't
also.
I couldn't say I couldn't possibly say it better. I couldn't say it better. Brilliant, brilliant, awesome delivery. I'm not gonna forget that. I'm sure a lot of people and people will come across this video. Those that are live right now and those that will come across the video will definitely not forget that. So I want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to you, UC. It's just been phenomenal. It's the first time on the Connect, and I'm really glad that we could make it. I'm even more excited that we're going to be doing this again next Sunday. I said, "Wow, I mean,
Yes. Thank you
this
very
has
much,
got to
sir.
be a good December, September, right?" And so much that
Yes.
we've shared today, and I really hope that this is something that resonates with everybody. We're going to talk a bit more about the academy next Sunday, and we'll talk
Yeah.
again, of course, and obviously see if we can have a couple of people just join in for a few minutes and just share with us what their thoughts are on that. We'll see how that works out. So, to everybody out there, thank you for joining us on this episode of The Connect. Apologies that our live stream on Facebook, as promised, couldn't happen. We're still working on it. Teething problems yet, new accounts, and we have conditions to be able to stream live there. But we're streaming right now on LinkedIn and on YouTube as well. And we'll see what happens between now and next weekend. Looking forward to a great week. And hey, till we meet again, let's keep connecting and keep working the path of champions. Good night, everyone, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
music.
very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.